Hello everybody, I wanted to make a quick video here because I had an interesting shoot today, and one of the photos is going to use a pretty advanced technique both for shooting and editing, and I just wanted to give a little bit of a glimpse into some of the things that goes into doing real estate photography, and going above and beyond as far as editing and making all the pictures look as perfect as they can. So what we have here is a living room which goes into the dining room, kitchen. It's a condo, and the unique part about this is that this entire wall here is actually a mirror. So obviously you can see me right here in it. Now typically you wouldn't shoot this because you have this issue. Either you wouldn't shoot it, or if it's not a very important set of photos, for a lower price place or something like that, then you would just shoot it and then not really care. Or something also might happen is you do it but then you cut it to maybe this size. And that's fine too, but I shoot wide for a reason, because the wider you shoot it, as long as it's kept under control, the wider you shoot it, the better it looks, because it makes it look like you had a bigger house. So anyways, what we have here is a set of 3 pictures that I took while I'm there. So we got this main one, which has most of the room lit up, and then we have this extra shot, which gives me an area over here and in the kitchen to work with. And then I have a third shot where I stood away from the camera, and I'll show you why here in a second. So a few things I'm going to do. It's not going to take too long. I'm going to apply my preset, which gets me some of the way to where I need to be. I'm going to just tweak this 3 individual files so I can work with them in Photoshop. This one's fine as it is. And I'll just hit my preset on this one. Okay, so now I'm going to open these in Photoshop. Okay, so once these load up, I have another shortcut that I've made to automatically align all the images, and to put an adjustment layer on top of them in case I need it. But all it does is just automatically align them. So that's what it's doing right now. Okay, so here's how the magic works. So again, typically this is what you would normally see as a finished photo, either this or cut, with the person cut out. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put stack my layers the right way. I'm going to stack my main shot on the bottom to be the background or the base. I'm going to put my second shot where I'm over here right above it, and then my shot where I have the kitchen and the hallway lit up, I'm going to put on top, because that's just going to put the finishing touches on it. So okay, so I'm going to hide these 2 and then blend them in. Okay, so all I have to do is paint over this to get rid of me. I'll paint over the rest of them. Okay, and we're getting there. Okay, now I've done about all I want to do there. Now I'm going to paint in that third layer to give me the rest of the base image, I'll call it. Get that in there. So now my kitchen and my hallway are lit up like they should be, and I'm just gonna a little bit more. Okay, so I'm good there. Now this is another point where this might be where most people stop. So the one last thing that I need to do is I need to get me out of it. So I'm just gonna give me another. I compress those 3 layers to 1 because I don't need to do any more adjustment as far as that goes. And then I duplicated it so I can work on one and then, you know, be able to compare it to another one. So anyways, I'm gonna zoom in. Obviously my problem spot that I have left is right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to select the door, and this is a manual, it's kind of like cropping, where you just, you know, you pick the shape that you want it to be. So I'm just picking just the door. So like for instance, if I got my paintbrush and I made it black and I paint over here, it doesn't do anything, but once I go over the door, now that that's selected, it will. So anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my selector here and select the color of the door, and then all I have to do to get rid of this camera is paint over the camera. Now that I have the, you know, because the door is only one color, so I just pick the color of the door and I make sure to not, you know, not to erase the handle unless, you know, unless again it's a shoot where it really doesn't matter too much. So we are good. Now you would never know, you know, you'd be none the wiser as to how I was able to get this shot and you know, not be in it, because this is obviously a mirror, you know. And if you know, if I left all that stuff in there, you'd be able to tell this was a mirror, and it's, you know, it doesn't really matter, you know, one way or the other as far as getting that mirror, you know, showing off that mirror. But you know, you kind of can't really tell that it's a mirror as it is right now until you look a little closer and you realize, oh, well, there's no way, there's 2 fans right there. Oh, and I can see the kitchen. So you know, it's just one of those things. And you know, that erasing technique comes into play a lot with bathrooms and all that, because you know, the mirrors are you know, one of the banes of a real estate photographer's existence, because a lot of times you can get a certain angle where you don't see yourself and you don't really have to mess with it, but a lot of times that's not the case, and you have to either erase yourself out of it or just blank it off or something else. And I'll make another video here shortly about some of the things to do with mirrors when it doesn't make sense to, you know, do what I just did here. It just makes more sense to just hide, just to cover it up completely. So anyways, just sharing that tip. And if, you know, if you are someone who uses Photoshop to edit your photos, you know, if you take them yourself, then, you know, this is definitely something you can play with. But yeah, and you don't have to take 3 pictures either, but you do have to do at least 2 to be able to, well, actually, I guess you don't, because I didn't actually use the second or the third layer to take me out of it. I just used those to get the rest of the picture the way I wanted, and then I used the native tools in Photoshop to get myself out of it. So anyways, that's about it. I'll quit boring you and let you get on with your day. So anyways, Jordan with Hampton Roads Real Estate Photography. Please let us know if we can help you out, and like I said, stay tuned for future videos. I'll be doing a series of quick tips like this. So anyways, thanks. Have a good one.